guys, my name's Victoria. Welcome back to my channel. It's been a little while since I filmed a video and I'm coming back with a little bit of a different kind of video today. I've been participating in the Jurassic Park read-along and I've been having a blast with it. It's being hosted by Dani from Spinelli Speaks and a plethora of other booktubers. There's quite a few co-hosts and I've been one of them technically, although I feel like I haven't been able to participate as much as I wanted to, just because life has been really crazy. But I'm here, I'm finally sitting down to film a video after almost 2 months, and I'm really excited to talk about this today, because today we're going to talk about the Jurassic Park theme music, written by John Williams, and I want to discuss a little bit of why this score is one of John Williams's more iconic scores, and that's even hard to say because all of his scores are iconic, and there's a few kind of key elements that we associate with John Williams. He's really a master of melody, and I want to talk about that a lot today. So I am going to talk a lot about music and use a little bit of music theory. I'm not gonna overwhelm you with music theory, but I have to use a little bit of music-y jargon here and there, but I promise to walk you through it. If you're not familiar with any of that, it's totally fine. There is a really awesome video that goes into more of the score in a little bit more detail. I'm going to link that video down below. Actually, Ramsey from readathon is the one that showed me that video first, so I will credit him as well for showing me that video. It's a really good video. So if you're interested in the more music theory aspects of this and you're interested in exploring more of the score, definitely go watch that video. In my video today, I'm going to mostly talk about the main theme and maybe the Journey to the Island theme as well, but mostly the main theme. So I have been a big fan of the movie franchise of Jurassic Park for a really long time. I grew up watching the first movie, along with like those other iconic Spielberg, John Williams partnership movies, Star Wars, Indiana Jones, and the like. Jurassic Park is one of those nostalgic pieces of film for me, and a big part of that is the music, and I would even argue the film feels different than the book, mainly because of the music. When I'm reading the book, I get a lot more emphasis on horror elements. I don't know if you felt that if you've been reading along with us, Jurassic Park and Lost World, but to me, the book feels more like it was going for those horror elements, and the movie speaks in a different way. The movie has that Spielberg magic, and it speaks a little bit more to the wonder of nature and the dinosaurs and just the amazement and the childlike innocence that our characters are experiencing, seeing dinosaurs for the first time and seeing that through their eyes and having that experience with them. One of the key moments in this movie is that moment when Alan Grant and Ellie Sattler and John Hammond they're driving up and they see that Brachiosaurus, I probably said that wrong, the Brachiosaurus, they see that for the first time, and that's the first time in the movie when we hear our main theme, our theme song of Jurassic Park. And for a movie that's supposed to be scary about dinosaurs, that is scary for a lot of it. I remember trembling as a child at some of the T-Rex scenes. For a movie that is built a little bit more on horror elements, this moment really characterizes what Spielberg was going for, and John Williams really understood that and brings it out in such a perfect way. So first of all, getting into the music a little bit here, I have my keyboard in front of me, which is why I'm filming this way, but I have an electric keyboard in front of me so I can play for you a little bit. But the way that we are even just introduced to the dinosaurs for the first time, we get this kind of horn call. We hear it from a French horn, in fact. These 4 notes are really simple and also just really complex and brilliant at the same time. First of all, this is really common with John Williams, is using these perfect fourths, perfect fifths to announce something. So, for example, Star Wars starts with an open fifth. That's a fifth. We associate that in our minds with announcements, fanfares, trumpet calls, bugle calls. It's a perfect interval, if you will, and that's what our mind associates with. So we start with a bit of announcement, bum ba da bum, but then he surprises us with an interesting note, a B natural, which so far we've had B flat and E flat, and that shows us that we're in the key of B flat major. But then we throw in a B natural, which is not in the key of B flat major. It's actually very discordant. So we have a little element of danger, and then even more so, we hear a B flat in the higher octave right after. So we have mysterious and also a little element of danger in there. So we have an announcement, but also a question. I really love how we are just introduced to the scene. And then he settles us down with coming back to B flat major, the home key. So now we're feeling a little bit more settled, like, okay, it's not too dangerous. We can have a little bit of feeling of comfort. So after that, we go into our main theme a little bit. So the introduction of our main theme is actually written as a choral hymn, which also brings us quite a level of comfort and reverence. Actually, in the score, it's marked to be played reverentially. That's literally written in the score. So you're familiar with the opening of the main theme. Okay, so let's just talk about that real quick. So first of all, we have a choral structure, really, and it's a melody that's very singable. It's moving by stepwise motion, which we hear this actually as a choral piece as that scene plays. So we have bass, tenor, alto, soprano. And so we have this 4-part counterpoint writing, which feels very choral. So all this is supposed to make us feel like we should be respectful to these dinosaurs and just like respectful for what's going on in the park and just have a sense of awe. That's really what we're getting. It's very kind of church-like. We're supposed to be amazed and reverential. Okay, so we've got more of that. Now, when we get up here to the main theme, this is, again, very John Williams-esque. We've basically got a hero theme, which is consisting of fourths and fifths, but also he throws this leading tone in here, which the leading tone is the 7th scale degree. So we have, right? Everyone's familiar with that main theme. That's the leading tone. So having that leading tone there actually makes a huge difference to make us feel like we're being pulled towards the home key, which is B flat. If you didn't have that there, listen to how that sounds. If we just take out the leading tone, if he wrote it like this, it's not very interesting, right? It's super simple, just fourths and then a step. If we add our leading tone back in there, much better. Even that little suspension there leads us back to the B flat. So we're really being pulled towards the home key. It's very satisfying, basically, is what I'm trying to say. He's pulling us back to the home key. Every time it happens, we have kind of a sense of satisfaction. And then he even does something more intriguing with this melody. That's interesting because it's a note that's not in the key, and it's also a weird interval between a B flat and an A flat. It's actually a minor seventh. This is kind of odd. John Williams was really good at writing really simple melodies that we can remember, but then making them interesting. And that's a big part of why he's so revered as a composer, is because he defies our expectations with his melodies, but they're also super memorable. They're not so complex that we forget them as soon as we hear them. They just really stick with you. That A flat makes all the difference. If we did not have it, this is what it sounds like. Maybe he would have wrote it this way, and you can tell it's just not the same. What if he went back to B flat? It's not the same. And that even brings us more satisfaction when we come back to da-da-da-da-da. It's even more satisfying because we had that a little element of danger, a little question mark, and then we're like, no, we're back. So these are just some of the little things that John Williams is a master at as far as writing his melodies. I'm going to jump ahead a little bit because I want to also show some of those similar elements in the Journey to the Island theme. John Williams does, if there's one thing he's criticized for sometimes, it's rehashing the same things over and over again. But I mean, come on, the dude has written for so many movies. Like, I can't blame him. Like, when you have something that works, keep doing it. So he found things that worked for him, and sometimes musicians make fun of that a little bit, as far as like, oh, you can tell it's John Williams because of all the perfect fourths and perfect fifths. But like, he found things that worked, right? And we have to really respect his style. It's just he has the things that make him distinctive, and he even borrows from himself a lot in his movies. Star Wars. It sounds similar because we're using a lot of the same intervals, intervallic relationships. So anyways, I'm going on too much about this, but I also want to talk a little bit about the Welcome to the Island theme. We have the same relationships between notes. Fifth, another fifth. This is a typical horn call announcement, and this is when the helicopter is flying into the island for the first time. This is definitely supposed to sound like an announcement and an arrival. And what's kind of cool about this melody is it starts off kind of generic, but then it goes somewhere interesting. Right? There's nothing special about that, but then he makes it this very graceful little melody. And then even after that, it's even more interesting. Ooh. So he's using some chromaticism in here. He's taking our expectations and he's kind of defying them a little bit. We wouldn't necessarily expect that melody to go there from, right? You don't necessarily expect it to go there. and that's nice. It's still diatonic, it's still in the key area. F sharp, where'd that come from? C sharp. C sharp and F sharp, no, they're nowhere near the key of B flat major. So it's just these little tiny details that keep us interested, and they're not boring. They're not boring. They're still memorable melodies, but they're interesting. So all that to say, music scores tell us how to feel when we're watching a movie, when we're consuming that kind of media. And the thing about books is they don't have that. And so the tone of the book to me is so different than the tone of the movie. The tone of the movie is there's like a hopefulness, there's like a childlike innocence as we're seeing these dinosaurs through the eyes of the people that are seeing them for the first time. When I read the book, I didn't get that kind of magical feeling as much. It's more about the action of the dinosaurs are eating people. It's a lot more about that. And I have to say, it's maybe an unpopular opinion, but I personally enjoy the movies more of Jurassic Park just because of that comforting element. Maybe that's controversial. I would love to know your thoughts on that. Do you think the book is perfect in itself? Do you think the movie made that story even better? I kind of think it did, and I think the movie is one of those rare cases where it's more iconic than the book. And I'm kind of okay with that. I would love to hear your thoughts. Thanks for watching this video today. I know it was a little bit different than what you're used to from me, but if you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you want me to do any other videos kind of like this with adaptations, I would be open to the idea, but this was actually Dani's idea for a video. She wanted a musical tie-in with the read-along, and so I was happy to do it. It's a little bit different for my channel, but I hope you enjoyed and I hope you learned something. Now when you listen to John Williams music, you can listen for those fourths and fifths, and listen for the ways that he makes his melodies interesting and how he deviates away from the norm. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Thanks for watching. Keep reading great books. And until next time, bye-bye.